Hi guys. So because this is extended farther than we thought, I'm trying to make these a little bit more personal. So I'm going to show you my personal workspace today, and then I'll show you more and more as we go along if we stay home for longer. All right, so this is my workspace today. Well, always, this is where I've set up my computer. At first it was on my kitchen table for about a week or so, and then I just couldn't handle that being in the middle of the kitchen all the time, so I have moved it to what we call the castle. I will show you the rest of the castle later. It does not look like a castle. Anyway, so this is got my both monitors, my notebook here, and then I've got my other classes notebooks there. I got books up there. That's my little drop box for stuff. My books up there, my little Echo, and my little pencil holder, which that's really cool. I got that from Natalie. That's really neat. Nice. Thanks. Oh, okay, Echo. Anyway, let me show you that. That's neat. So anyway, and it says Smart Sticks on it. Anyway, so that's my workspace, and it gets a little toasty in here because there's no air conditioning in it. It used to be a sunroom. So I have my fan going and the door open to the kitchen, but this seems to be the quietest place in the house, since we're all doing our own thing at different times. All right, so that's enough about me for now. And now we're gonna take some notes on quadratics. This is the first new stuff you've done all since this whole COVID thing has started, since we went home. So anyway, first of all, I want to say that I have put the objectives page on the Google Classroom. You do not have to print that out. I just wanted you to know it's there in case you wanted to use it. Sorry, fixing that up. In case you wanted to look it over and see where we're going. We are going to write out some things as we go. All right. So today is just an introduction to quadratics. So the unit is quadratics. Let me try moving it this way just to, ooh, that got super blurry. There we go. All right. So the unit is quadratics. And first we're just going to do an intro. All right. So the essential questions that we're going to try to answer in this class, well, by the end of the unit, are: how are quadratics modeled and used in the real world? So how are quadratics modeled and used in the real world? And we're going to come back and answer these, so we're going to leave some space. And just 2 lines is probably good. And then secondly is, what are all the important parts of quadratics, and then that's an apostrophe after the S, graphs, and how are they applied? Now this one's going to be a good bit of spacing. We're going to have like vertex, x-intercept, y-intercept, axis of symmetry. I think that's everything. So let's go with 1, 2, 3, 4. Skip a space. Okay, so let's get started. All right, you've actually already seen quadratics in factoring. Okay, so our first objective is to identify all the parts of a parabola. All right, so we're going to, that's right, there we go. Find and explain the properties of a parabola. Okay? All right, so first of all, parabola. If you have another color, that would be great. To get that now. Okay, so a parabola is just a shape that looks like this. It's a smiley face or a frowny face. That's it. And it's the shape that comes from graphing an even exponential function. Okay, but specifically when we graph a quadratic, we get this shape. All right, so a quadratic, I'm getting tired of writing that word, but we learned this a while back, okay, is y equals ax squared plus bx plus c. All right, a, b, and c, these guys, those are just numbers. Okay, what's really important is that it's in a square exponential. Okay, that guy's the important one. That is what makes it a quadratic. Okay. So when we were naming them before, you could have had like a quadratic trinomial is what this would be. You can have a quadratic binomial. You can have a quadratic monomial. Okay. So let's write them. So we could have a quadratic. So monomial. Would just be y equals ax squared, right? Binomial, so I'm just going to put little, that just means ditto. Quadratic binomial would be y equals ax squared plus bx. And quadratic trinomial is when you have all three. Okay? All right, so just here, b and c are 0. Here, c is just 0. And here, none of them are 0. Okay? All right. So, now, that being said, we're going to actually do with numbers, and we're going to talk about their different properties. So when you graph a quadratic, okay, you get a parabola. All right, so parts. So let's underline quadratic here, and then parts of a parabola. All right, so I'm going to draw two parabolas. Well, first I'm going to write A is vertex, B is x-intercept, or x-intercepts, C is y-intercept, D is axis of symmetry. And I think that is all the parts. Let me just check. Oh, no. E, C, D, E. E is minimum value. And F is maximum value. Okay? All right. So we're going to go through and we're going to label these for several graphs. All right. And with E and F, let's just get rid of the F and put or maximum value. There we go. Because you're not going to have both. You're going to either have a minimum or a maximum, but you can't have both. Okay? And then, F is domain. And G is range. Okay, so for the rest of this video, all we're going to do is label all of these, okay, for every graph. So let's do the first one. We're going to graph And if you're taking notes with me, I want you to be really neat. So do you see how I skip spaces? I use the lines, okay? I'm not using a ton of color. I'm using one color, except for when I'm trying to point things out. I did have a little bit of scribble here because I changed my mind on something, and that's okay. But for the most part, I want you to try really, really hard to stay between the lines, to use the lines, and to make yours look just like mine, okay? All right, so 1, 2, 3, 4, and then I'm going to go up 1, 2, 3, and down 1, 2, 3. Okay, and then let's put a dot here, 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 okay, and then one like here. Yeah, 2, okay. All right. All right, so A, the vertex. This right here is the vertex. So I'm going to label that as A. All right. And here I'm actually going to put what the vertex is. So the vertex is the point 2, -1. B, x-intercepts. I have 2 x-intercepts. I have this one, B1, and B2. So what is this point right here? That is 1, 0. Remember, x values come first. So that's going to be 1. And then no y value because it didn't go up or down. And then 1, 2, 3. So 3, 0. All right. C, y-intercept. You can only have one y-intercept, and you will always have at least one, but you might not be able to see it. So if it's not on the graph, then that's okay. You don't have to name it, okay? All right, so this is C. All right, now that's a y-intercept, so that is the point 0, and then the y value is 2, okay? All right, axis of symmetry. Now, the axis of symmetry goes through the middle of the graph. So it's like this. It goes straight through the vertex. And it's always just an x equals. So axis of symmetry. That's how I write that. And it's just x equals, because see, it slices through the x-axis. So it's x equals. It's just like a tick mark. And what tick mark does it go through? It goes through 2. So just x equals 2. Notice that's not this one, that's this one. Those are always the same. Same as x. Make sure your x's look like x, not y's on vertex. Okay? All right, E is the minimum or maximum value. All right, well, this is a bowl. You're either going to have a hill, see, or a valley. This one's a valley, so it has a minimum, okay? So over here with your minimum, we're going to write valley. And then this one is going to be a maximum, which would be a hill, okay? All right, so E has a minimum value, okay? And then you just say the y value. So what is the y value? Okay, well, it's the y value at the vertex. So it's -1. So we're going to draw an arrow there. Always same as y on vertex. If it's a max or a min, it's always the same as the y on the vertex. And that's why I can't really draw this, because I can't put it here. I guess it would be like this. This would be E. Okay. And then F is the domain. Well, the domain, I kind of squished it in here. The domain is just all real numbers. because it goes left and right forever. So left to right. So all real numbers. And then the range is how up and down it goes. Well, it goes down to -1, and then it goes up. See, it has a minimum. So if you have a minimum, then that means you're at the lowest point. So y would just have to be greater than or equal to -1. Okay? Oops, I'm sorry, I'm off the screen there a little bit. Greater than or equal to -1. If it was a max, it would be less than or equal to. Okay? So that's also the same. Okay? All right, let's do another one. Oh, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. So let's go with -1, and then and 3. So then, and then this one be right there, 1, 2. Okay? All right, so nice. And don't make that go through 1. Okay, make it go through like 1 point something. We'll have to estimate it. Okay? And that's not supposed to be pointy. It's supposed to be nice and round. So I did not do a very good job drawing that. Okay, so let's do it. So A, vertex. That is, again, right here. So that is the point 1, 2. B is x-intercept. Well, I have x-intercepts. I have 2. Here's one of them, and here's the other. So that's -1, 0. Oops. -1. Remember, it's the x value, so 0 for y. And 1, 2, 3, 0. All right. Notice that the vertex has to happen exactly between. See, if you count this way, 1, 2, 3, 4. Then the vertex happens exactly between those. Okay? All right. C was y-intercept. Well, I'm not sure, so I'm going to have to approximate it. So make sure you put some little squiggles. And then it's like, well, the x value is 0. And then this looks like about, what is that? There's C. 1.3. Okay. If yours looks like 1.5, put 1.5. If it looks better than 1.5, like almost 2, put that. It's fine. Whatever yours looks like, okay? All right. D is axis of symmetry. All right, remember, that is always, so that's right here, that dotted line I just drew. That is always the x value of the vertex. See, because I go through the tick mark 1. All right. E, maximum or minimum. Well, that is the y value of the vertex. And it is a hill, so it's a maximum, okay, and whatever that is, 2. All right, and you do have to write x equals and y. Well, you don't have to write y equals. You could put max value of, but you do have to write x equals because it's an equation of a line. It's an axis of symmetry, so it's asking for a line. All right, D, E, F. The domain is all real numbers. It's always all real numbers. Okay? And G, the range is always Y, and then whatever the max or min is, so 2, all right? But am I less than 2 or greater than 2? Well, I'm at 2. Do I go down or do I go up? I go down, so that's less than or equal to 2. Okay? All righty. That's it. See you next time.